This channel presents... Hey there, everyone. What if the greatest genius of the 20th century had given up just before his big breakthrough? You might think it's a bit dramatic, but believe it or not, this actually happened. And it's true. Albert Einstein did almost throw in the towel on physics, but what made him change his mind? That's what we'll explore today. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell so you never miss any new videos. If you've ever heard anything about Albert Einstein, you probably know that he was one of the most important physicists of all times. Even without knowing much about physics, you've likely heard of things like the theory of relativity, or E=mc². These are groundbreaking ideas that have shaped our understanding of the universe, and they came from the mind of one of the most famous people who ever lived. But while we now think of Einstein as a sort of superhero of physics, that wasn't always the case. At one point, he was poor, unrecognized, and on the verge of giving up on his dreams. But he didn't. And if he hadn't, the course of human history would have been very different indeed. So let's jump right into it. Part 1. A rocky start. Albert Einstein was born on March 14th, 1879, in Ulm, Germany. From an early age, he was a bright and inquisitive child. However, rather than being a star pupil, he was often seen as lazy and unmotivated by his teachers. As a student, Einstein was known for being more interested in exploring his own ideas than in learning what was in textbooks. He didn't particularly enjoy school, and at the age of 16, he stopped attending classes altogether and eventually received his formal education at home. This decision led to him barely graduating high school. But these struggles weren't just because of Einstein's personality. There was also a language barrier. Because Einstein grew up speaking mostly German, he had a hard time adjusting to the French spoken in schools in Switzerland, where his family moved when he was a teenager. Despite his potential, Einstein struggled to find a stable job and often felt like a failure. He couldn't secure a teaching position due to his unconventional ideas and unorthodox behavior. And during this time, he couldn't support himself and often relied on his family for financial help. Then, in 1896, he managed to get a job at the Swiss Patent Office. It seemed like a dead end for someone with big dreams. He was just another cog in the machine, working on routine tasks every day. He spent his time evaluating and categorizing new inventions, which required careful attention to detail. But this was hardly the kind of work that inspired creativity. And here's where things took a turn. In 1900, Einstein applied for a teaching position at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic. But when he learned that he didn't get the job, he thought that his chances of becoming a respected physicist were slim to none. Although he still worked at the patent office, he continued to ponder physics problems in his spare time, but soon he would come face to face with a harsh reality. Part 2. Desperate Times. In 1901, Einstein got married to his first cousin, Elsa, with whom he shared a deep connection and a passion for intellectual pursuits. They decided to start a family and soon found themselves responsible for 2 young children. With the addition of a wife and kids to support, Einstein knew that he had to take his situation seriously. He needed a steady income. Einstein tried again to land a professorship, but he was unsuccessful and continued to work at the patent office. Even though he had a roof over his head and food on the table, this wasn't what Einstein wanted out of life. He felt trapped and demoralized. Working as a low-level patent clerk, Einstein was far removed from the world of theoretical physics, which was his true calling. He couldn't escape the feeling that he was wasting his potential. Einstein was desperate for a change, and in 1903, he decided to apply for citizenship in the United States. He believed that this move would open doors for him in the field of physics. However, this plan faced a setback when he developed appendicitis. This unexpected health complication prevented him from traveling to America and pursuing his dream. During this time, Einstein felt like his life was slipping away from him. He could undo the work he loved, and the thought of continuing his life as a patent clerk filled him with dread. And that's when the darkest moment of his life arrived. Unable to get a job in physics, Einstein was beginning to feel hopeless. His health was poor, his finances were unstable, and his personal life was in limbo. All the rejections he had faced were starting to take their toll on him, and he began to doubt himself. He wondered if he was destined to live a mediocre life, far from the contributions he wanted to make to the world of physics. One evening, after a particularly frustrating day at the office, Einstein sat down and had a long, hard look at himself. He realized that he couldn't keep living like this. Something had to change. It was at that moment that he made a pivotal decision. that would change his life forever. Part 3. The Turning Tide. Instead of throwing in the towel on his dream, Einstein decided to keep trying, but he knew that he needed to do things differently. So instead of going out socially, spending time with friends, or taking vacations, he locked himself in his room and studied. And while others saw this as a waste of time, Einstein knew he was investing in his future. He threw himself into studying advanced physics texts, brushing up on his math skills, and exploring the latest research. But it wasn't just about hitting the books. Einstein used his evenings and nights to keep thinking. Alone in his room, far from the distractions of everyday life, he began developing some of the most groundbreaking ideas in physics. He started questioning the nature of light and the principles of relativity. These were topics that had puzzled scientists for years, and Einstein was determined to find answers. In 1905, Einstein's hard work and dedication paid off. That year, he published 4 papers that revolutionized the world of physics. These included his theories of special relativity and the photoelectric effect, as well as his mass-energy equivalence principle and the explanation of Brownian motion. These ideas not only earned him the Nobel Prize in 1921, but also changed our understanding of the universe. And suddenly, everything changed. The quiet, bespectacled patent clerk was no longer unknown. He was now a world-famous scientist. People from around the globe recognized his name, and his ideas were being discussed in the highest circles of academia. His theories challenged long-held beliefs and opened up new frontiers in scientific exploration. Part 4. A New Dawn. Over the next few decades, Einstein continued to make significant contributions to the world of physics. He developed his general theory of relativity, which provided a comprehensive description of gravity. He also worked on the development of the atomic bomb, although he later came to regret his role in this invention. But beyond his scientific achievements, Einstein became a cultural icon. His name was synonymous with genius, and his face was plastered on everything from posters to coffee mugs. He was interviewed by newspapers and magazines, and his image was even used to promote everything from cameras to watches. Einstein's work and his persona had become a commodity, and his face represented intelligence. As we look back on Einstein's life, it is hard to imagine that he ever faced rejection or struggled to find his place in the world. But the truth is that his journey was far from easy. He had moments of self-doubt and faced significant obstacles along the way. It was only through sheer determination, hard work, and a refusal to give up that he achieved greatness. It's also important to remember that Einstein's story isn't unique. Countless other scientists, artists, and innovators have faced similar struggles. They too have grappled with rejection, self-doubt, and the fear of failure. Yet they have pushed through these challenges to make incredible contributions to our world. So the next time you're facing a tough decision, remember the story of Albert Einstein. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams, and don't give up in the face of adversity. Who knows? You might just surprise yourself with what you're capable of. Now, it's time to hear from you. How close have you come to giving up on something that could have changed your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Best Hidden America for more untold inspiring stories of history and humanity. And for more on Albert Einstein, check out the link in the description below.